Today I will talk about customer segment analysis. We will use Tableau for customer segment analysis and we will use the algorithm present in the Tableau software. And for customer segment analysis, I have taken data available on internet, that is sample superstore. It is in the form of Excel and we have taken order sheet for analysis. So for segment analysis, first, we need to make a scatter plot. So we have made a scatter plot using our calculated fields monetary and frequency. So let me briefly describe my calculated fields. So I have made three calculated fields here as frequency, monetary, recency, and the fourth one as customer order quantity. The formula for recency, let us see. So this is the formula for recency. It is the difference in date in terms of days between the last customer order and the very last order in our data set. Then we have monetary field, and let us see the formula for monetary field here. So this is the formula for monetary field. So it is the sum of sales for each customer. Then this is the formula for frequency, and frequency is the number of orders from each customer. Then this is the formula for quantity. It is the sum of quantity from each customer. So we have these calculated fields here for our analysis. So first of all, we just need to make a scatter plot between any two variables. So I have made a scatter plot between frequency and monetary. So after making a scatter plot, we go to analytics and we click on cluster and we drag this cluster from here to our scatter plot. Then the dialog box for cluster appears and we add more variables in cluster and then we analyze. So let us see how many variables are there in our cluster analysis. So just I will click here, describe clusters. So this is our cluster analysis. The input variables include quantity, frequency, monetary, recency. So I have taken these variables, 4 variables, and scaling is normalization. And the number of clusters are 3. And this is the summary of each cluster. So cluster 1, we have the quantity 35. This is the median quantity here. Then for cluster 2, it is 28. So cluster 1 and 2, they have similar quantity. But the cluster 3, they have large quantity, that is 72. Then we have in cluster 1, the frequency is 5. And for cluster 2, 3.7. And for cluster 3, 8.8. So cluster 3 have more frequent buyers. Then monetary, the high monetary is for cluster 3. So cluster 3 customers are very useful customers. Then for recency, customer 1 and 3 are recent, customer 2 are very customers who have purchased far behind in time. This is cluster 3 here, and this is cluster 2, and this is cluster 1. So we have these clusters. Then we have just dragged this cluster variable from here to our tables dimensions. So we have here as this my clusters, one of the dimension here. Then we have to identify which customer is in which cluster. We have just made a table. So in rows we have taken customer name and customer ID. So this is customer name, this is customer ID. And in the cells, we have taken the clusters. So this first customer is in cluster 2, the second customer is cluster 1, and similarly. So we can, save this table, export this table out. Then this is the plotting of customers, location of our customers from cluster 1, and this is for cluster 2, and this is for cluster 3, and this is simultaneous illustration of the location of our 3 clusters, location of customers from our 3 clusters. So this is all for today. Thank you.